Hello, this is a guide on how I play Flurry. It might not be the best Flurry guide you will find, but it's the rotation that I'm used to. Before starting, I would like to show you my skill up and also my plates and stuff. So for Lancia, I get max Hornet Touch and also max Deep Pierce. The other stuff I didn't really like maxed it. Like I didn't even get Mental Mastery and Mind Conquer because I don't have enough points. And then for the Piercer side, I get everything on the Flurry side. And I didn't max Shatter Bounce because Shatter Bounce have like very low damage even when you max it. On the other hand, I maxed the SP ulti, and then I put 1 on every SP skill because Dent Blow is very good on proccing Vault, which is vulnerability. Then yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. For Shaping, I get level 3 because by level 3 it have like around like 10k board damage, which is actually about the same with Link Sky. And then Shaping is a skill with like a lot of hits, so it's like almost a guaranteed like vulnerability. It's very good for a light ECJ user, so if you are using light ECJ, you should max Shaping, or yeah. Then for Flurry side, you just max everything. For the Awakening, max everything but the Awakened Headbutt because I don't have enough points. For the skill up plate, you should use Spinning Skewer, not Raw Sweep, although both of them perform very similarly. But Spinning Skewer will get higher due to the new version Flurry have a lot of multi-hit skills, so it's easier to get vulnerability. Yeah. Then for skill plates, there's a lot of very good skill plates that Flurry can use in this patch. The ones I chose is Spinning Skewer damage, Hornet Touch cooldown, Spinning Touch cooldown, Raw Sweep damage, Spinning Sweep action speed, and Champagne cooldown decrease. So if you are not using like ECGA, you can remove the Champagne CD cooldown plate. But if you are using like ECGA, you should use this plate because this plate made Champagne so good. And for the Spinning Swing action speed, I don't feel it's necessary, but I like how the action feels when you have the Spinning Swing action speed plate. So if you don't want to use this, you could use Lollipop Chomp's CD plate because Lollipop is pretty strong in the current version. So you can also get the CD plate for that if you don't want to use it. Or if you want to play safe, you can get Wallmaker CD. So either of them is fine. Yeah. So let me just start with some explanation of the rotation. So first of all, you need to make sure you know like what each skill of Flurry does. The main bubble collecting skill will be Hornet Touch. It gives you 5 bubbles when you hit something with it. So usually you will want to use the manual counter attack to hit bosses because the auto one sometimes may bug if you have very bad pin like me. So I usually just use the manual one. Like that, you get 5 bubbles. Then the other skills that I think you should use in very high priority will be Hornet Touch for bubble collecting, then Raw Sweep Instant, which is triggered by Shift plus the left click, which is Rushing Blade. Rushing Blade with the CM2 will give you raw sweep instant, and you need to cast it manually this way. Do not class it with raw sweep, because you see raw sweep have 18 seconds cooldown, but rushing blade only have 10.5 seconds. So if you cast it with raw sweep, instead of just doing it by the rushing blade CD, you will like lose like around like 7 seconds or 8 seconds CD. So that like every like 2 or 3 raw sweep casts, you can cast like 1 more raw sweep instant if you do it by looking at the rushing blade CD instead of the raw sweep CD. Yeah. But note that if you do it this way, your rushing blade must hit the boss. If you didn't hit the boss, the CD of the raw sweep instant won't be reset. So you will need to wait for the next rushing blade CD. Yeah. And then the other skill I will say will be in very high priority will be Bifrost. But for Bifrost, you need to know that it must have like vulnerability on the boss. If you don't have vulnerability, the damage is very bad. Let me just proc vulnerability very fast. Oh, maybe I should just do the version without the vulnerability. When you don't have vulnerability on, it deals like only 25k, but if you have vulnerability on, you can times it by 1.2, so you get like actually get a lot more damage that way. Let me just do it. Okay, so we can see it from the damage mirror. Like it deals like much more that way. Even when the hit didn't crit, it deals like much more than before. So that's that. And the other skill that you should use in high priority will be spinning cut. Make sure that you always use the awakened charging, which is the charging. When you use it, you will see the like rainbow special effects on it. So about how to cast the spinning cut at the right timing, I will say you can just look at how Lancia move her lance. I mean her spear. When she's moving it to the greatest distance, then you can press your right click. Yeah. Or some people will prefer to look at the CD. They say when it turns to 11, you can use it already. But sometimes this might be misleading when there's like other buffs, like the Machina Saucerous buff, and also the Torture buff and FDN. So I would say it's best to just look at the action of the Flurry, but you can also look at the CD. So when you see the 12-second CD turn to 11, you can just use it. Yeah. So I chose CD plate because it's very easy for Flurry to bring out the skill to use, and spinning cut is very strong. Even without casting it always, it will be higher than the normal raw sweep, which is 18 seconds. So it's like probably the 3rd or 4th highest skill, and it's the best skill for Goddess Helmet. So you should try to cast it perfectly. Okay, then some other stuff that need explanation will be Scar Maker. You need to remember to cast it at whenever it's possible, because the buff itself only lasts for 6 seconds when you are out of the range. And then also the shield duration is only 15 seconds, so you need to just cast it when it's possible. Then for Xingping, it's like a slightly smaller range, but it also only remains for 1 second debuff, but it gives like 25% light attribute increase for a CD with only 85 seconds. It's actually like much better than Didnt, the Didnt buff. from the plates if you are able to stay in the range. So it's pretty good for Dragon Stage. And also you need to note that it has a lot of hits, so you can trigger vulnerability pretty easily. Like 9 hits. Even if it didn't trigger, it deals a very good damage too. It's like 10k for damage. Yeah. Okay, then that's that. And for skill canceling, I will say you can use like Deep Pierce and Cornet Touch anytime you want. But for Spinning Skewer, I prefer to stop using Spinning Skewer to cancel my skills when Bifrost CD is almost over. Because sometimes it's very hard to proc the vulnerability if you are not very lucky. So yeah. Okay, then the other skills, Lollipop Chops and Over the Rainbow have a very slight invulnerability, while Over the Rainbow has a longer duration for the iframe. Then Stab Screw is just another damaging skill with a lot of hits, and Spinning Swing is the skill that you should use every like 60 seconds to proc your FDN buff. If you don't have FDN weapon, then sometimes you can ignore the skill because the skill currently I think it has some bugs, so it deals like lower damage than it should. So yeah, the only good part about the new Spinning Swing is that it have a lot of hits with a greatly reduced like action time, so you can use it to proc vulnerability. Yeah. But generally, I think SP skills are better because they have like more hits, and then also they are like more range than the Spinning Swing. Let me just demonstrate a typical Flurry rotation. Okay, it's kind of hard to DPS, but well, you kind of get the point. So as you can see from the skill details, usually if it's normal, you will see the skill details like this: raw sweep instant as the second highest, spinning skewer as the first highest, then spinning cut as the third one, bifrost as fourth, and hence spinning cut as the fifth, hornet sting, then all the other things there. For the rotation, you might notice that I like to use raw sweep instant to cancel the action for shutter bounce. I like to do it this way because shutter bounce CD is like 12 seconds and rushing blade CD is like 10.5. So it kind of make you like easier to notice that if the CD is ready or not. If you bring like shutter bounce CD plate, then the CD will be exactly the same. So that's that, and I think the other parts are pretty self-explanatory. Usually when you DPS, it's very unlikely that you will rank out of skills, but if you do rank out of skills, you should use SB skills, or if your Bifrost CD is ready, but you don't have any vulnerability, you should first try to cast the multi-hit Flurry skill, such as Lollipop Chops and Stash Screw or Raw Sweep. If all of that doesn't work for you, then you go for the SB skills. Can go for either didnt roll, which works much better on dragon size boss because the golem is a bit too slow, so a bit too small, so the rest of the attack couldn't reach. But usually didnt roll can get around like 20 hits. Yeah, around 20 hits. Then you can also choose hovering blade. It's better on small bosses. So that's like for quick vulnerability proccing. But I would say generally using Flurry skills will be better because Flurry skills have like higher board damage. Like it deals like much more damage. And then even like swing deals more damage than the SB skills. So if it's possible, you try to use the Flurry skills to proc vulnerability, or if Champagne CD is on, you can use Champagne to proc vulnerability too. Yeah, so that's that. This is like just a basic guide of how I play Flurry, but note that I'm not a very good Flurry player, and also I feel like latency is very bad on Flurry gameplay because like my Hornet Touch will often bug for some reason. It won't like. Even the manual class will be like delayed and stuff. So in this, it's very hard for me to play Flurry properly. But in Golem, it's okay because the Golem, the pin doesn't affect that much. Yeah. But generally, that's like how you want to play Flurry, and the skill details should always look like this. And as you can see, even with the raw sweep instant plate on, you will notice that spinning scores still deal like more damage than raw sweep. Although I know that the normal raw sweep wasn't even on the skill details due to the golem sometimes ignoring the normal raw sweep damage. Like for some reason the turning around part doesn't like get any damage, and also the last hit often have like 1 or 2 hit missing, like this one only deal like 1 hit instead of 2 hit for some reason. Oh well. Generally, you will see normal raw sweep at probably slightly higher than Hornet Touch, but lower than Spinning Skewer. But the instant raw sweep should be very high, cause the instant raw sweep you can cast it like very fast, and then it's less likely to bug the second hit. So yeah. Okay, that's all for the Flurry the guy. Sorry I made this guide super long again. Hope that this will help you. And if you have like any suggestion of like how the rotation can improve, please list down below in the comments. I will look at them and then I'll I think it's better if we discuss like how the rotation can change, because like I'm not a Flurry main, but I have a lot of Flurry main friends in like different servers. So I will ask them about the rotation changes that you guys suggest also. Hope that this helps. And that's for all today. Thank you for watching.